1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are on episode 94. And, yeah. I just realized before we started this that this will be the first video that has gone up to the YouTube channel in 2 weeks. Mostly because,
Really?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to edit anything. I've been moving everything into the house.
God.
So once I'm moved in and I have my setup done up there, I'll... What?
Didn't film review go up last week?
No, I thought it was this weekend, but this weekend is what we're recording right now.
Yeah.
So that goes up next Saturday.
Okay, cool. Look forward to that.
Yeah, we finally did a movie review. That's something to start off the podcast with. But yeah, you said you had something that you wanted to start us off with.
So, I've had two of my topics this week, this
Day?
fortnight, are from ads that pop up from YouTube videos. And now I know what you're thinking. He clearly doesn't have ad blocker on any of his devices because he's a good person.
I've only got it on my
not
computer.
Entirely true. I've got it on my home computer, but not in other places. And so I saw these adverts, and there were two of them. But the first one is the one I think you'll fucking love, or send you insane, one or the other.
We'll find out.
So it was a Lego advert, and I was like, "Ooh, Lego."
Why don't I ever get fun ads? Like all the ads I get on YouTube are shit. All right, go on. Sorry.
It's like digitized Lego. I was like, "This isn't like Lego. This is digital Lego, so it's a game of some sort." Right? Okay, fine. All right, there's a new kind of Lego game coming out, right? Lego Brawl. So, Super Smash Bros. Brawl style, but it's all Lego characters. Now, the multiverse has just come out, and if you're in the loop with gaming, you'll know that there's some pretty bad reviews for it.
What's the multiverse?
Like Scooby-Doo characters.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, no, never mind. I saw a donkey video on this. Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah. So now Lego's chipping in. And ironically, just before we started this, we were talking about how game companies reproduce formulas that work, like Castlevania. But this feels like a reproduction of a thing that was popular in the Wii era, which is like 5 years ago,
I think more. It's had a bit of a resurgence, like the new one, the Super Smash Bros. All Stars or whatever it was. That one was pretty big for a while.
I mean, it was big because it was a copy of the original, and okay, granted, I haven't played the new one, but it looks exactly the fucking same.
It is, but that's expected. Every new Super. So I've played every Super Smash Bros. Game, because I really liked them. So did most of my friends. But I played all the way back to the N64, and that's all they are. It's the same game with a few new mechanics and some new characters. The new characters is why people buy the next one, because they want to have like more fighters and more arenas and more maps. But the features and the gameplay is identical.
It's like it's FIFA syndrome.
No, no. I would never put it in that category. No. Absolutely. You're looking smug, but you're completely... You are 110% wrong.
This sounds like trying to deny something for your own self-belief.
No, you're just wrong. I don't even play the games that often anymore. I have no investment in this. But
the original one had so many variations of characters.
It had 8. The original one had 8 characters. It was for the N64.
The original one that I played.
Not the
N64 one.
You're probably thinking of Melee, and you're right. It had a few. Yeah. It had more than the N64, but fewer than the one that came after it. And the one that came after that has like easily double the amount that was in Melee.
Yeah, but in the same way that Pokemon comes out with another 50 Pokemon in every game, it doesn't actually make the game any better, does it?
Depends. Depends on if you like trying out different, characters, different play styles. I personally liked playing full random and just, I loved trying out whoever I got. But if you already had a character that was your favorite in, like, say, Melee, other than wanting to play when other people got the new one, there's really no... I'd put the iterations on Smash Brothers much closer to the iterations on, like, the different Call of Duty games than on FIFA. Because FIFA, they change nothing, or they take away features, and they just re-release the exact same game.
To be fair, I believe FIFA does probably add like more teams and players with each iteration.
They just update the teams and update their rosters. That's it. FIFA or any of the basketball games or the Madden games, that's what they all do. But these games...
Madden looks fun. I don't know if I'd play it all that much, but Madden looks fun.
I have never understood the appeal of sports video games.
Sports video games in general, yeah, but I don't know. Madden is... I feel like it's getting closer to Blood Bowl. And Blood Bowl's alright.
It's becoming more fun because it's getting closer to fantasy. I played Madden in high school. My best friend growing up was really into sports video games. But the most fun I ever had with Madden was when we were playing at his place, and one of my friends was about to win, so my other friend unplugged his controller and just started punching the shit out of him. That was the most fun I've ever had with Madden. But no, the reason I'd say it's closer to like the Call of Duty games is they've at least got a different story. They've changed up the gameplay.
Does anyone play Smash for story?
No one does. But I'm using it as a comparison. They play it for
To be fair, people don't play COD for story these days, unfortunately.
No. Although I always do beat the campaign whenever I do buy one.
Yeah.
But as I've said before on the podcast, I'll get like the urge to play Call of Duty like once every 4 years, and I'll just buy whatever one happens to be out at that time.
Yeah. The problem is that players get a lot more replayability out of online than story modes. They just don't care about the story mode nearly as much.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is one feature that was something to buy the newer iterations of Super Smash Bros., for instance, was they actually had online play. The GameCube era, it was all local.
Anyway, so, Lego.
Yeah, it's another Lego...
It's a Lego Brawl. Do you think you'd be interested in that?
No.
No? You like Lego? You like brawl games?
Not really. Like, I liked playing Super Smash Bros. Because I had friends to sit on the couch in college and play it with. But the newest one is the one that has the most stuff in it, and it's the one that I've dropped the quickest because I wasn't in that setting where it was like a bunch of people sitting around playing it. I guess if it's like entirely online, it might be something fun to do. But I've never been into the Lego video games. Like, I never liked Lego Star Wars. I never liked...
Really?
No, I just...
Lego Star Wars was a lot of fun.
I haven't. Because Xbox Live does the thing where you get a free game every month if you have Xbox Live. And
I will say it was fun with friends.
Yeah, that was one of them. I didn't know anyone that owned it. So... But I've tried playing through it, and it was like, okay, this is like a more goofy version of a Star Wars game and a less physical interaction form of a Lego. I'd rather either be building a Lego or playing a serious Star Wars game.
Yeah, no, the best part of that game by far was force pushing your friend off of a cliff.
Yeah.
Which you can imagine why that would be fun.
Oh, yeah. That was... did you ever play... It was Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Yeah. I've never played any Splinter Cell games.
I did. I really only played a few of them, but this one was couch co-op or Xbox Live co-op. It was for the original Xbox. Yeah. And the most fun thing about that, I think I may have actually played it with Scott a little bit, but like one of the things you do in it was you could play co-op, and it's supposed to be like a stealth infiltration game. But one of the funnier things to do would be to try and like put your co-op teammate in a position where they will accidentally fail the mission. So like, for instance, they're sneaking into a room, so you pile up a bunch of unconscious people in the room, and so when they flashbang the room, they accidentally kill someone and you fail the mission.
Yeah.
Or like, there's one thing where we're supposed to kidnap the president of some South American country, and you put him down in the elevator, and because the elevator goes down, his body ragdolls off the walls and it kills. Yeah. But it's the same sort of thing.
I've heard about that. Well, that definitely rings a bell.
Yeah. But yeah, any sort of co-op game like that, half the fun is fucking around with your friends as you play it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, some of my favourite... Well, okay, my favourite Call of Duty... We're bringing it back to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Call of Duty moments. Playing through the COD 5 campaign, the World at War, the World War II... you're playing as either the Russians at one point or the Americans at another, and you can do that co-op, and that was flipping fantastic at the time because it was an amazing story and you could play it with a friend. And I think I played that campaign through about 8 or 9 times to completion. And the other one was, I think it was Black Ops had the 2-player only missions, which again, when you've got a friend to sit on the couch and play it, so fucking good.
This actually leads me neatly into one of my topics.
Oh.
So, the first RTS game that I ever played, in fact, the first video game that I ever really got into and played that wasn't like on my original NES, was Age of Empires 2 for the PC. Back in my old, the very first computer my family had Windows 95 on it, probably like 2 megs of RAM. But
of course you can't play that game these days, can you, Kaiser?
That's the thing. They've released an HD edition, which was basically just like a upgraded version of the original game. But then they released the definitive edition, which is they took the original, they added a ton of new campaigns. They're even still releasing DLC for it. They've tweaked the mechanics so you can do things like zoom in and out. You don't have to change your resolution. You can just a few little slice of life upgrades like that. So they've taken the original game and then just upgraded it a little bit in terms of just giving you quality of life improvements. So I've been playing a lot of it. In fact, I think it was Tuesday night this week, I started a campaign on it and didn't look at the clock, and then before I knew it, my phone buzzed and it was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But they have added co-op campaigns to it. So they not just like co-op versus AI, but they've actually added co-op campaign. I don't know if they're missions or whole campaigns.
Is
to
it
the
remote
game.
play?
It's all online.
No, but is it remote play? That is to say, can I key into your computer and play the second character?
That is a good idea. I imagine not, because of the nature of the game, because you would have to be controlling an entire other like empire. You'd be building up your own base and stuff like that.
Only one of us would be able to use a mouse, but one would have to use a controller generally.
Yeah, which you're not going to be able to use a controller with Age of Empires. There are RTSs that have done that.
I'm sure there's a way, but it would be a fucking nightmare.
It'd be ghetto as hell.
Yes. Right analog stick button to select units.
Yeah. But I've liked it because none of the other Age of Empires games have really been as fun as the original. Age of Empires 3 was pretty good, but it just never really... It didn't have the same kind of mystique. Or maybe that's just nostalgia talking. Age of Empires 4 was pretty good. It would be great if it was sped up about 4 times, because there's only one gameplay speed in that game, and it is slow as balls. Like the shortest 1v1 match you could imagine is going to take 50 minutes to an hour.
It goes Riddick on you.
So
one speed, mine.
Yeah. I did find though, and this is what led me to start playing Age of Empires 2 again, was I was playing Age of Empires 4, and I found that somebody had modded the game to add a faster game speed. Nice. And the more I was playing through it, I was just like, man, I really just want to play Age of Empires 2, and I remembered they had that definitive edition. And then I saw that I'd apparently already bought it, but never played it.
Honestly, they need a speed up button for more games. I think Legion would be even more fun on double the speed.
Yeah, like a challenge mode, like a
Well, just have like a. Well, not even. Doesn't even have to be different ranks. It could be the same ranks, just a different mode where you're like, I want to go into the double speed round with other double speed rounders. Yeah. Especially if you haven't got time for a full match, that'd be awesome. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, no, it'd be great if I could find it. I mean, how much does it cost?
It's only $20, the definitive edition. Like,
okay, we're not going to be playing that.
I mean, it's wicked cheap. What are you talking about?
I am a pauper, sir.
I'm just saying you could buy Age of Empires 4 for $60, or you could buy the much superior Age of Empires 2 definitive edition.
Why the fuck would I pay $60 for like a 20-year-old game?
What? It came out like a year or two ago.
Yeah, but the original game was...
Yeah, that's why I said you can get the new one, which is far inferior for 60, or the old one, which is improved and far superior
right,
for 20.
Yeah.
And it's probably cheaper anyway, just based on the exchange rate.
Yeah, it'd be about £16, I'd say.
Yeah.
Go on, you're about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, that's what I've been occupying my time with in terms of co-op gameplay.
So I say, hang on, you're about to say something, you go, no. What I was going to say was...
Yeah, I was just going to reiterate what I had said before. What I meant was, no, I had nothing new to say.
Okay. So, another ad that I saw was for a film. And it's a film that I will never see.
Why do I never get any good ads on YouTube?
It's not a good ad. It was a film which is all about Vertigo. It's not Vertigo, the film. It's called Fall, I think it's called.
Literal?
And these two women, it seems like from the advert, is what I gleaned. Two women go out into the middle of buttfuck nowhere and climb a massive, enormously tall, rusty metal pole with a ladder stuck to the side of it. One of them gets to the top, the other one tries to get to the top, and then the ladder breaks. And I guess they're both stuck up there, and it's, I guess, about how it's fun. But how long can a film go on where it's a person stuck on top of a big pole?
Depends on how big the top of the pole is.
I can definitely see it being terrifying, because, like I said, I'm not a great fan of heights. Ironic, I know, being 6'5". But that sounds both terrifying and also incredibly boring at the same time.
At that point, you just jump. What are you going to wait for? A helicopter to come save you?
I mean, it'd be a pretty instant death by the looks of how high it was.
Yeah,
a helicopter could drop a rope.
Well, they'd have to know you're up there first.
Yeah.
I don't
know if the partner person either A, got stuck at the top as well, but I didn't think there was room for two people, or B, got crushed and killed to death, or C, managed to somehow get back down the pole. Also, couldn't they just do the old grabbing and slowly sliding down the pole? Sorry,
Yeah, that looked
weird. Fucking.
That looked weird on camera.
Sliding down a pole.
How big is this pole? I'm thinking of a metal pillar, or is it just a flagpole?
No. This pole is imagine a pole the size of your from pinky to thumb.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of diameter, and it goes up about. Well, it went up above the cloud layer, so that's an idea of how high it was. I don't know what the pole was doing.
This movie sounds stupid.
I mean, it could either be boring, horrifying, or hilarious. Those are my three outcomes.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, there are simpler concepts out there that the right writing has made actually very entertaining. And conversely,
I meant comedy in terms of it's so bad that it's funny.
That's what I'm. Well, yes, that too. But I was thinking more there have been plenty of movies out there where it's been a very simple or very silly concept, but good writing has actually made it just something very memorable and good to watch. Like
Airplane. We watched that the other day.
Airplane. There's actually there is something that this transitions nicely into.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that I plan to watch as it comes out in a few hours.
Oh, I know.
You know what it is?
Wait, no, it comes out in a few hours.
Yeah, or maybe tomorrow.
Okay, no, it's not what I thought it was.
Maybe
I thought you were going to say Sonic.
Oh, no. That one's already out.
Yeah, I know, that's why I was confused by you saying it was in it. But you said you were going to watch that film, so I was like,
I plan to, yeah. But no, what comes out in a few hours is, and this is a giveaway for when we're filming this, is the Amazon's Rings of Power series.
Oh.
They're
yes.
They're ghetto Lord of the Rings preview. So I plan to watch it because it's been getting a lot of flack because frankly, the trailers that have come out for it are hilarious.
If you're willing to wait until tomorrow lunchtime, we could watch it at the same time. If you want to. If you're too impatient, then go for it.
Well, I wouldn't be watching it until the weekend anyway.
Okay.
Because tomorrow I will be packing a bunch of bags and boxes and getting furniture ready to load into a truck.
True.
Because the next time I record this,
That's right, we're burning Kaiser's stuff.
the next time I record this, probably the next time we stream, I will be in my new office. I'll be in my new home.
Exciting.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to watch it. I'm going to go in there with as much of an open mind as possible and see what I think.
Won't.
No, I try not to just go in there. I try not to prejudge things.
You're going to go in and go, oh, dwarves, my people.
No, because they don't have beards, remember?
What? Dwarves don't have beards?
That was one of the big things. The female dwarves, they took their beards.
Oh, the female dwarves, yeah. Which I still think is stupid, but...
And they also made Sauron look like Eminem.
I haven't seen that. Can you send me a picture real quick? Because I think I need to see that.
Okay, alright.
So I take it he's in, like, elf form.
Yeah, this is when he, like, because I think in the books in Lord of the Rings, the way I had it explained to me was that he was, like, he was supposed to be, like, very charming and attractive in the...
Yeah. Wait, so they wanted Eminem? I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's not bad looking, but, like...
They chose a very weird image of him. Wait, come on.
Who in fun exercise? Who would you cast as the perfect Sauron?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've got an answer, but I can't remember the guy's actual name.
I feel like let's see. If it's supposed to be he's supposed to be somewhat younger. He's supposed to be intimidating and charming. The problem with me is, like, I don't know actors.
Well, that's why I'm looking mine up.
I don't know. Oh,
I know.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler.
I think he'd do a good Sauron.
I need to remind myself who that is.
He's the guy that starred in 300 as Leonidas.
I haven't actually seen 300.
He was also in Law Abiding Citizen. He was also...
I think I know who you mean, though.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go with the most charming and fierce at the same time. Oh my god, he looks stupid. He looks so stupid. Terry Crews as Sauron.
Terry Crews, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
That would be fucking great. He would be too nice to be Sauron, but goddamn,
he'd have to learn how to be...
He would convert me.
Well, he'd have to learn how to be a dick. But yeah, no, anyway, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about it. I'm going to do my best to put it out of my mind and just watch it.
It looks so stupid.
But yeah, it's stuff like that has made me...
He looks like an angsty teenage version of the sidekick villain from Riddick. With the shaved blonde hair. Except this one looks like he's got a fat fucking nose. I'm sorry whoever actor this is, but... And the stupid eyebrows is too much. Also, yeah. It looks like he's doing a cosplay as Mary.
Yeah, the actor, by the way, the picture. It's a very slim white dude with close-cropped blonde hair. Very... I don't even know how to call that skinny. I'd call it emaciated. And he's got like a cowl half on his head, a very white cowl. So, anyway.
And he's carrying the baby Jesus?
Yeah. I didn't want to be that. Didn't want to go that far.
Sorry.
No, I mean, they didn't.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, it feels like they're trying to go for Twilight vibes, but it's just stupid.
Yeah, so we'll see. One of the other things that I've done my best not to see too much about this beforehand either. But okay. One of the things I did see was on a stream I was watching, people were looking at one of the new trailers they put out. And the trailers have done nothing to improve expectations around this, because I've watched 2 of them. The most recent one actually doesn't look too bad, but the other one that they put out, it was literally shot for shot like the beginning of a soap opera.
Right.
Like And I was talking to my mother about this. It actually was the opening to a soap opera, where it's like a white background and the camera's kind of going forward. And as it goes forward, characters from the left and right are fading in and fading out, like as the camera's sort of passing them by. Yeah. And they'll just like, make some kind of expression or have a wry smile or something like that, or be doing some.
They're in a coffee shop.
Well, there's no background though. It's just the character.
Oh, okay.
They literally did that exact thing for a trailer for the show.
What, like the Scrubs intro kind of thing, where it's got like the people whizzing past and it's just the guy standing there.
I've never seen Scrubs.
Oh, shame.
I'll show you it.
American thing.
I'll show you it in between the segments, so you can see what I mean. But I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, fantasy should not be clinical white.
I'm hoping that this show is either hilariously bad or surprisingly good. Because if it's just mediocre, I have a feeling I'm probably going to end up dropping it.
Suffice to say, we've both watched all of Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, I've extended editions, first audiobook, second audiobook. Don't know about
I can't speak for you, but in my opinion, the best moments are always like moments, for start, action moments, and moments where there is never a point where I was like, man, this moment is really cool because they got a whole bunch of hot actors talking to each other. I feel like that's what this is going to be. I feel like they don't have the budget to have, because
$1 billion.
It's one thing to have like an hour-long, like a 3-hour film, or whatever it is, Lord of the Rings, a particular film is, right? It's another thing to have an ongoing TV series, which is hours upon hours upon hours of content, and still have it be quality.
I somewhat agree with you if I didn't know the budget of this. Because
how much was the original?
That's what I'm going to look that up right now.
Because, I mean, just everything that I've seen from it so far has been a letdown.
The budget, ready for this? The original Lord of the Rings, the first movie, just the first movie, had a budget of $93 million. Less than a tenth of the budget of this series.
But that
was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's still not like $1 billion, but
yeah,
I feel like there's a point in.
Let's look at the last one, because the last one was The Return of the King.
Well, the last one was The Hobbit, and that was fucking garbage.
I'm not looking at those, because I'm looking at the ones that Return of the King, $94 million, and that was a few years later. So
yeah, they're probably pretty well off.
So all three of the original movies' budget was less than $300 million. Granted, that was in 2004 money.
So what you're telling me is that unless this TV series is 3 times better than the original films, it wasn't worth it.
No, I don't.
That's what I get from that.
What I'm saying is, like, granted, it's divided on 8-hour-long episodes, right? So the original movies were probably 6 hours total, longer for the extended editions. So they have triple the budget for the original ones. That now budget doesn't equal good movie or good show. Because I mean, the perfect example of that is like Firefly. That show was awesome and it had a shoestring budget. Mm-hmm. So it's really going to come down to like it might just be like a really flashy, over the top pile of garbage.
I can't really remember the last time a really expensive film was really good.
Yeah. Because I think
actually no, I can, but it was kind of a one-off. Was the Star Wars Rogue One? I bet that probably had a pretty fucking big budget, but that is surrounded by flaming piles of trash of other Star Wars things that were shit.
You're right. $200 million budget on that film. And you're right, that was actually the last Star Wars movie that I liked.
Yeah.
Because I actually went back and rewatched that one multiple times, because it was really, really good. I was thinking, when you were saying like high budget film that was actually pretty good, was Avatar. Which that movie wasn't...
A lot of people hated that. Are we talking about Airbender or...
The Blue People one.
Okay, yeah.
That one was like... It was visually beautiful. The story was extremely simplistic and a bit contrived, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was a simple story can be good if it's executed well.
Yeah, it was a Michael Bay film. I mean, it might not have been directed by him, but it was a Michael Bay film.
Yeah, they have explosions and very simple one-dimensional characters. And
I was perfectly fine with that because it was fucking cool.
It was a fun watch. I've watched it multiple times because it's not something you have to engage with that much. Sometimes you just want something that looks pretty and tells an okay story and you can turn your brain off for a while.
A lot of people did hate it, so we're probably going to get a little bit of flack for that, but at the same time, like, it was one of the first really good 3D movies as well.
Yeah.
And that was really one of the big selling points for it at the time, and I definitely enjoyed going to see it for sure, and I've watched it several times.
They're apparently still planning on making sequels to it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it was a good one-hit hero.
But it's been like 10 years.
Has it been that long?
I think so, yeah. I want to say it was 2011 or 2012. And just since I'm looking these budgets up, let's check that out real quick.
I reckon 300 mil.
Not quite. It was 237. I honestly really thought it was going to be more.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly hyped.
Oh, it was older than that. It was actually 13 years ago.
Oh, crikey. God, I'm old. That was half my lifetime ago.
Yeah, I was in college when this came out.
Jeez. But yeah, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Yeah, but I'm totally down to watch it with you over the weekend if
no, definitely. So I'll make sure to mute my mic in case I start laughing pretty hard. I mean, I'll be yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Watch a couple episodes. We can comment a little bit on it in between episodes, but yeah, because so it's a 3-day weekend here in the US, Labor Day weekend. I will be. This is a portion of the podcast where Blue and I make plans, and all of you know about them. But yeah, Sunday or Monday, I'd be definitely down to watch it.
Cool.
Because I'll be moving Saturday. But
Sunday's fine, Monday not.
And then everyone listening, look forward to probably the next podcast. Then us talking about that.
So, yeah. So it's gonna be a packed week of actual 1 videos per week. Can you imagine? Sorry, I'm having a dig, but I am the last person that can talk because I don't do any editing.
I've got a few just things to look forward to if you are listening to this on YouTube. We did play a little bit of a game called Death and Taxes. There's another episode of Godhood that's in the works. We also there's some clips that I want to put up from our Digimon playthroughs. And I'm working on a video that clipped out some of the bits from that 8-hour stream we did. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that'd be good because we played a lot of different games on that stream. I think it was like 13 in total by the end. Yeah.
That was a long day.
Fucking firing through them. And then we were still having to remind each other to move on to games at times.
Because some of them were fun. We just wanted to keep playing them, yeah. Anyway, but I think that's probably a good place to end this one. So segment 3, we're going to be talking about
anime.
Netflix anime, right?
Well, yeah, but if it goes to animes that aren't Netflix, I'm fine with that.
All right, cool. Well, that's what we're going to talk about in segment 3. Blue's been watching some stuff. Look forward to that. But this is going to be the end of segment 1 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you all for listening, and hear us again momentarily for segment 3. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are on segment 3, our wildcard segment. And this week, it's anime. Blue has been watching anime. Alyssa's been watching anime. I've been watching it. Actually, I haven't been watching anime. I've been reading anime. By that I mean manga.
I do tend... Well, okay, when I'm watching anime alone, I binge a show until it's completed. And then I stop watching anime for the next 3 months. But having a significant other... I'm forced to watch shows at a human rate, which sucks. Which means I can slowly enjoy it more and then forget everything before the next episode starts.
I won't lie. I do the exact same thing. Except I have no significant other to like slow me down. So I'll. Thus, my point earlier about me going through an entire Age of Empires campaign in a night and just completely losing track of time.
You need a dog, bud.
No, I can't. Well, I'd love to have a dog. I can't have a dog because I have to travel.
Yeah.
I'm barely going to be home in like October and September.
I just remembered we still like haven't watched the last episode of Cowboy Bebop from months ago. We still need to watch that last episode. Not you, but me and Alicia.
Yeah.
But we are on the last episode now of Crybaby Devilman, or is it Devilman Crybaby? Because I can never fucking remember. That sounds right, Devilman Crybaby.
The second one is the one you said earlier. Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah. Is that the correct way around?
I have no idea.
You've seen the film.
Have I?
Not the film, the TV series, haven't you?
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, this is going to be a very different kind of review then. Don't look it up, don't look it up.
I'm just trying to see what it looks like to see if I've seen it before.
What you're probably looking at right now is not even softcore.
No, I've got Save Search on, but no, I have not seen this.
It's a highly gratuitous, gory, sexual anime where the protagonist is he has some like connection with other people where if other people are sad, he can't help but cry. It's a completely redundant fact that is just pops up occasionally throughout the story. The point is, he has this psychopath for a friend, and his friend is also like one of these mega rich billionaires who is really obscure and doesn't have social skills, and he can also like just pull fucking AK-47s out of his coat whenever he wants. So
it's a good power.
He takes his crying friend, who's completely bland and normal, to a Sabbath party, I think it's called. They call it, and it's basically a nightclub. And on the way, he's like, okay, so there's demons in this world, and we're going to a place where there's going to be fucking tons of demons, and we're going to try and kill as many as we can. And the super vanilla guy's just like, okay. Wanders along. They get into this place, and everyone is completely naked. They're doing drugs. They're taking devil shots and such. They're all fucking, etc. And so Vanilla Boy is told to drink this drink by his friendo, and it basically puts a devil inside of him, or a demon. Then they're kind of like sitting at the side, and his super rich friend is like, the demons aren't going to come out when everyone's just having this chill time like this. So he just walks into the middle of the dance floor and starts stabbing random people with his knife. And then
sorry, Vanilla Man or Billionaire Man?
Crazy AK-47 toting.
Got it. Okay.
And he just starts fucking stabbing people, and some people try and hit him back and stuff like that. And then suddenly, like, all of the attractive women with no clothes on start transforming into demons, and in very comical ways start consuming the other people in the club. I mean, like, you've heard of Teeth?
Yeah.
But, like, way over the top, like, over 9,000 style. Start just ripping people apart. Then Vanilla Boy is like, I don't want to die. And he turns into this mega, super huge demon and kills all the other demons. And that's basically the first episode.
So, I'm making faces, like, listening to the description of this.
Yeah.
And then I realized what I've been, like, binge reading over the last few weeks has been more and more of Berserk. Which, again, brutally gory.
Pretty gratuitous, yeah.
And it, like, what is it? There's a whole arc in it. I've actually got to the point now where I've read past the furthest I ever got in the manga, in previous times, because once it gets past the original story arc, it focuses in pretty much on one character and like a very small cast of characters rather than a whole band of them. Yeah. And one of the arcs takes him to this like remote outpost town with a bunch of refugees at it, and they're hunting down heretics with all the Inquisition like tortures you could imagine. Yeah. And so that's just I was just thinking of that as you're describing this.
Fun?
No, I mean some people probably find those machines fun, but anyway.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, honestly, the anime, the Devilman Crybaby, it's a really loose plot, I would say, and it's mostly an excuse for a lot of nudity and gore, but that does kind of make it quite funny.
You're just starting to go, okay, you're starting to try and predict what the excuse is going to be this time.
Well, also they're a big fan of, and this is quite refreshing, how, like, whenever a series gets a particularly popular character, they become invulnerable.
Yeah.
So, the main character's parents were introduced for one episode, and between the space of them being introduced and the episode finishing, they were both dead.
I'm gonna
God.
I'm gonna make a few comparisons here, just because since we're talking about gory anime, I'll keep going on with Berserk. One thing that I've found is the main character essentially is invulnerable, because you carry him throughout the entire series, right. And it's just the way that they make him vulnerable, though, the thing that keeps you on edge, like if it's just him alone fighting like a billion demons, you're like, okay, he's probably gonna be fine. But the way they make him vulnerable is they surround him with all these characters that are so much more fragile than he is, and you're constantly on edge, like, oh shit, are they gonna kill off this
one to die?
Yeah, and so it's his entourage that makes him vulnerable, and that's what makes you kind of like latch on reading through the story. You're like, oh shit, is this person going to die next? Or is this person going to die next? Or get mutilated or have something horrible happen to them? Because I just realized you're right. They do that a lot of the times. Your main character ends up with plot armor. And yeah, this main character does seem to have it. But no one around him does.
Well, it also seems like everyone is... how in, let's say, horror films where people act stupidly, right? They walk out and do stupid things that no one in their right mind would do.
Yeah, or it's like, oh my god, we're in this haunted mansion. Better get our tits out.
Well, in this, it's like everyone in humanity who isn't a main character, and some of the main characters as well, are stark, raving, mad lunatics that want to kill everything. I mean, so when the announcement goes out that demons are real, humans just start fucking stabbing and shooting each other for no fucking reason, pretty much. Just, maybe they're a demon, I'm just gonna blow his head off. And there's like stonings and things like that, and it's like, there's not much point apart from shock factor for why this is here.
That also doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, if demons are real, you'd think you'd want to be a better person, so you don't end up going where the demons are.
They specifically at one point say that, like, and this is a lie, but it's still broadcast on television, that, if you are unhappy with society and life as it is, then you'll become a demon. And they still keep being dickheads. It's mad. And they try and mix a bit of religion into it, and it just doesn't work. Very entertaining. The story is just not there. Yeah.
So there, on kind of the polar opposite end of this.
Yeah.
I think I sent Scott a screenshot of this. I don't remember if I sent you it, because I've been buying up the Berserk mangas. Yeah. It was like, oh, maybe you'd be interested in like the Hellsing mangas, and I didn't even click on those because I was like, I'm not really interested in the manga because the anime in that was good enough. So was Hellsing Ultimate.
Just the voice of the holy guy.
Amen.
Just give me a sound bite of him saying amen, and that's all I need.
That guy was fucking awesome. But yeah, so I didn't click on that. And then they're like, well, maybe he wants other manga. And so the next manga it recommended to me was something called Cat and Gamer.
Right.
It is. I bought the first one because it was only like $8, but
yeah,
it's just it is a goofy slice of life manga about this like professional woman in her late 20s who leaves work, right on the clock every day, gets all her work done so she can go home and do nothing but play video games. And one day she adopts a cat and then panics because she realizes she has no idea how to take care of a cat. And then...
Alright, I was about to say, this sounds a lot like Mass until you said doesn't know how to take care of a cat, in which case, no, it's not Mass at all.
She's a loner who does nothing but play video games, but she's very, like... It's not like she's somebody who's like a shut-in. She's just very successful at work, but when she's done with work, home to play video games. And now she has a cat to take care of.
I mean, that's just a female version of us.
And and that's where I am in the story so far. It's the polar opposite of Berserk. The polar opposite.
It's a chill anime.
And you know what? I'm actually enjoying reading it. It's nice and casual. It's currently sitting at my house, so when I've been like unpacking things and need a break, I'll just like plop down and read another few pages of it. I only bought the first one so far, but I might actually end up reading more of it.
In regard to, I'll just go through this one quickly. Blood of Zeus, made by the same creators that made Castlevania.
Yep.
We finished the series. It was so uninspiring that I forgot we'd finished watching the series.
That sucks, because the trailers on that actually looked really good.
Yeah.
And from what you told me about the first couple episodes, I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, I was hopeful that there'd be like lots of really good mythology stories and such, but it was kind of just one story that obviously wasn't based off of anything aside from the fact that Zeus liked to fuck people. And
just another excuse for sex.
Meant to be intense, exciting, a huge battle, but it was kind of finished before it started, and the outcome wasn't even that great.
That's something that's a sign where you've failed from a storytelling perspective. If there's some kind of big, intense action scene, and I get just bored of it. Like, what was it? This isn't anime, but I've been reading continuously for the last few years the Horus Heresy book series. Like, so the Warhammer 40k, except this is 30k. And I think I'm like 11 or more books into it at this point, out of like 50 something.
I'm imagining Horus with anime eyes now. Thank you, Emperor-san. I'm going to choppy woppy your head off.
Oh my god. Slanesh just plays K-pop, and that's how he drives people crazy. No, so the book I'm on right now has like, and it sucks because this is like a two-parter. The first part was like the 8th book, and this is like the 11th or 12th book, and it's the second part of it. Like, it follows up in the stories of the characters from the first bit. And all of the action scenes, like in the book, just drag on for way too long. To the point where, like, there'll be maybe 3 pages of, like, story and character development or, like, things happening, and then there'll be, like, 10 pages describing the battle in, like, vivid detail. And I'm like, I don't need you to paint me a picture. Like, you can give me, like, the first few lines of, like, if there's some particularly epic moment, describe that in detail.
Right.
But I don't need, like, an entire page describing a guy punching a snake in the face. Like,
okay.
And
I was going to say... Sorry.
Yeah, it's just an example, and I've seen that in, video games and TV shows and anime and stuff, too, where they go a little bit too far with the action scenes, and they get boring.
I would imagine... Because this is what I thought you were going to say, is that they lay out the two sides, what is on both sides, so that basically people could recreate the battle with the figures. I could understand that.
That would be interesting. Yeah, if they were talking about like troop deployments and like, oh, these units are coming in over here and so
Yeah.
that would be cool. And some of the books in the series do that.
Okay, cool.
And it's actually kind of cool to listen to, like, to read through and like picture it in my head. This
That's
isn't
a
that.
perfect tie-in for Warhammer. But
This
that's
is
not that. Okay.
Yeah, no. This is a paragraph describing how this guy shot a snake in the face.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't need that much detail.
Snake. Who was the snake on?
So it's they're going down to this underground facility, and essentially, the warp has mutated these naturally occurring like burrowing
So it's
snakes.
not even like an enemy faction. It's just
No, they're just animals that have been mutated by
wildlife.
the warp. Yeah, exactly.
God. Was this Imperial Guard?
No, it was Dark Angels.
Space Marines were dying to fucking snakes?
Yeah.
That's so dumb. That is so dumb.
To be fair, they
fucking warp fucked with... Like, the Chaos Marines are touched by the warp.
yeah.
They can stand side to side with a Space Marine. A fucking snake should not be able to pierce a Space Marine's armor.
But these are like evil big warp snakes.
Unless the snake is bigger than the Space Marine, that's bullshit.
It was literally like I was getting that chapter was. It may have only been like 10 or 15 pages, but it felt like it was 50. Like it took me so long to get through that chapter because my eyes just kept like glossing over, or I just look and start daydreaming about anything else.
Sammy the Grass Snake lived a peaceful life, but one day he became a Chaos Grass Snake. And now he leads a legion of slugs and snails touched by the warp to destroy the Empire.
God. Yeah.
Oh my god, that sounds stupid as fuck.
I mean, to be the... It's just...
Like I said, if it was Imperial Guards, I could believe it, because they're technically just humans in body armor.
Yeah.
But Space Marines...
I should... To qualify, there are only 4 of the Space Marines against like a dozen snakes, and the snakes did kill a bunch of Imperial Guard first and implant their larvae in them.
Please tell me that the no Space Marines died.
I think one of them may have. Or he either died or he was severely injured. But at least, I'm pretty sure at least one of them got taken out.
You need to purge that gene seed right now.
We're not even going to take it out of this guy. He's just...
How did you die, brother? Oh, demons in the war. No. Snakes, brother. You should have seen it. It was like 2 foot long.
Oh, God. That chapter is even more entertaining in my head now.
Oh,
that right there, that exchange was more entertaining than that entire chapter.
Oh god. Anyway, yeah, sorry. That was a weird tangent to Warhammer. This was meant to be anime stream.
Well, it was, but I mean, come on.
Imagine if they made anime Warhammer. Actually, they have animated Warhammer.
They
but
do,
not like anime Warhammer.
but it's not good. Like,
there are some really cool animated Warhammer stuff on YouTube.
yeah, like the fan-made stuff. Yeah. But didn't they...
not their actual stuff. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they try to release their own thing and it was like really low quality?
They got Hammer and Bolter, I think it's called. I can't remember if that's the comic strip or the animation. I think they have one of each. And yeah, from what I hear, it's not nearly as good. And they've done like a internet-wide ban on anyone putting out anything Warhammer related.
Which sucks.
Kind of
like,
fucking stupid.
Games Workshop has some of the worst business policies you could imagine. Yeah. Like, you've got a devoted fan base that loves all your crap. Sorry, this is a Warhammer topic now.
This is what's become.
They've Games Workshop. So I should preface this: Warhammer 40k, tabletop game, little figurines. You paint them, battles on the tabletop. Very intense, very hardcore. And there's a ton of lore around it, tons of books, tons of media, a few games, some good, some mediocre, some bad.
Yep.
And set 40,000 years in the future, thus the name 40K. Sorry, in the 41st millennium, so 38,000 years in the future. They've... Yeah, they cracked... I can see them cracking down on people using like 3D printed models. in their official tournaments, that makes sense because you want them to actually purchase the product.
People still do that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you're doing it casually, like with your friends, I could see that. But it's like using like a fake card in a trading card game in a real tournament. You wouldn't. It's in bad taste.
Yeah. No.
But they like any kind of media online. So if somebody makes like fan art, they're like, "Fuck you, we own that." If somebody makes a fan video, "Fuck you, we own that." If somebody makes like I don't even know if they've gone as far as fan stories, but they're like really hard.
I think even battle reports have started being.
Well, they were cracking down on people that did lore videos too, like people who were just like describing the lore of the stories. Like they're not like reading from like the book word for word.
Verbatim, no.
They're just like, oh, here's this collection, and all that did was I was not into Warhammer 40K until I stumbled upon those lore videos. I was like, oh, seems like a really cool universe, and so I've bought books. You know, I've tried playing the tabletop game a couple times, albeit with. Yeah, Duncan.
Online. Yeah.
No, online, but in person as well. Duncan has had like a set that had 2 armies in it, and so
right, you haven't actually gone through the grueling process of putting together and painting an army.
No, I have not done that. I don't have the time for that.
I tried it when I was younger because my brother was big into it.
Yeah,
and he was quite good. But the age that I was, I had definitely not got the focus to paint, especially because I went with the orc army, because the orcs are fucking great. I love orcs. But there are so many units in a unit.
Yeah, there really are.
There are so. Same with Imperial Guard.
When I played online through Tabletop Simulator, I played orcs.
I think that's why the Space Marines are. Well, one of the core reasons why the Space Marines are so favorable is because you have like 6 units in a squad.
Yeah, but to bring it back, I think that's like a horrible business decision by Games Workshop, the company that makes Warhammer. They're cracking down on the people that are advertising their product. Those people are basically giving free advertisement to get new people into the game, and they're cracking down on them and then trying to produce mediocre versions of that content themselves and making people pay for it. It's bad business all around.
I think with some of the animators, and this is a double-edged sword. With a lot of the animators, when they were striking stuff from YouTube, they said, "Look, you do really good animation. Come and work for us. But A, we get your stuff, and B, if you don't come and work for us, you can't put anything on YouTube when we're striking the stuff."
Yeah.
So either way, we're taking your stuff.
Yeah,
you can also work for us.
It's one of those things, and that of course didn't stay private very long. So people who are fans of those people who are creating this cool stuff, and probably fans of the Warhammer franchise in general, they hear about this and they get pissed at them.
Yeah. Also, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, because I am not heavily ingrained in the Warhammer universe.
I remember hearing about this at the time as well. I do believe that they were making them sign contracts. That was one of the options they gave them. It's like, we won't take down all your crap, but you have to work for us and you can sell it to us and we'll put it out and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's basically like, oh, you could be self-employed and do your own thing and pursue this passion project, or you can give it all to us and have a 9 to 5 like every other schlub.
Yeah. So, but I mean, okay, there's plenty of other miniature creating things out there. They're just far less well known than Games Workshop.
Yeah.
And also, there are lots of other places that sell paint, and Games Workshop paint.
I noticed
the
that.
most expensive paint in the fucking world.
I found that out. I was trying to like look up one time because I was like, maybe I'll make like a little army. I'll try actually painting them. It might be a fun little hobby to do. And I looked. The paint that they sell for the figures it's a little a testicle, not even a testicle size. It's like half a testicle worth of paint, and it's like $20. It's like what? What?
And yeah, it's real bad. And they used to have quite good names for their paint. They had Chaos Black, they had Goblin Green, they had Snot Green, stuff like that. Fun stuff. Anyway, they couldn't copyright those names because they were too generic. So they threw out the old names and brought in like Abaddon Red for example.
So they gave it all like named character stuff,
so that they could copyright every single paint, which they've done. Like, I don't want to compare it to Blizzard because they're fucked up for different reasons, but
so
their monetary practices are so stingy.
I'm gonna like give a counterexample to this.
Okay.
So you know the series Red versus Blue, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a machinima series, based on Halo, starting with the original ones. Rooster Teeth. It was one of their very first big hits, like not their first video series ever, but
yeah.
They were always like afraid that Microsoft was going to copyright them. And what actually happened was Bungie and Microsoft reached out to them once they'd started to get big, and they're like, "Hey, what can we do to help you out? Like, we love what you're doing. Like, keep doing this." Because the people at Microsoft and Bungie realized this is amazing marketing for us. Like, people are going to see this and they're going to want to play Halo. And if we make it even more popular, if we help them out, then... And so they gave them access to, like, stuff in the code and did, like, little cross-promotional things with them and stuff. And it helped both series. That's the way you do it when you have, like, fans making cool stuff out of your media.
Yeah. And, I mean, if there's one thing that I can say for Warhammer, it's... If you are well, you've probably got to be a bit of a nerd, but if you like or want to get into painting, buy some like eBayed Warhammer models, buy some paint, look up tutorials on how people paint Warhammer figures, because God knows there are bloody billions of them, and they are fantastic, a lot of them. And model painting, super, super cool in Warhammer. And also you can sell those suckers on for quite the profit if you're a good painter. So practice at that. That's a very good thing to work on.
Something I'm looking forward to, again, in the dedicated office space that I have, is part of the desk is going to be a designated like work area for doing stuff. Because I had so much fun back in 2020, because I used to build the Gundam model kits when I was a kid. But I've never painted them. I just built them.
Yeah.
And so they were always like the standard grade ones, like the reasonably easy ones to put together. And in 2020, when the lockdowns first started, and I suddenly had so much time because I wasn't commuting, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like one of the perfect grade ones, the really high end model kits. And it took me like a few weeks to build the thing, just working on it for like an hour or two at a time. And when I did it, it was like it looks so cool. It's at my house now. I actually don't have it here right now, but I didn't paint it though. I'd love to actually go in and but I don't want to do it on that one first. I'd want to do it like build a simpler one and actually try doing detail work in painting. Look up how to do that.
Yeah,
I think that'd be so cool.
Incredible how, because these are small figures, how minute the detail is. There are like flaming swords, for example, where, and I'm certain there's a tutorial for everything, but it goes, they've made a gradient on the sword, and the sword is like less than a centimeter long, where it goes from like a burnt umber to scarlet to sunset orange to yellow and then to white at the tip, where it's getting hotter as it goes up the blade, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing, is with the model kits for the Gundams I'm talking about, you're talking about something that's maybe like half a foot tall. But so like 20, 30 centimeters if we're using metric.
Yeah.
And then but these Warhammer miniatures, like what Blue's talking about, they're tiny. Like you might have
they're
one
about an inch high from foot to head.
Yeah, but when you actually look at the detail work on it, that's my thing is I know that I do not have the patience. So I think that would actually be a good exercise for me, is teach me to sit down and focus on something for a few seconds.
What's the thing? That could be like, if you had just a single figure and we did a stream, you just painted that one figure while we talked.
It probably could take up the whole stream.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things you gotta do, like, undercoat spraying, doing several washes, putting in inks for the cracks in the armor and stuff like that. If you want to apply decals, which I don't think anyone does, but you can. Like, there's so many. It's not just painting.
It really isn't.
No.
That being said, the
Airbrushing.
first detail thing that we're going to be doing a stream of, and probably this will probably go on YouTube as well, is building that computer. Yes. Because you remember I have all these parts for a computer that I want to put
for a while, haven't you?
I bought it right after I bought the house because I knew it was a project that I wanted to do. And the goal was to build a computer that is a good like editing station.
Yeah. So when's that going to be coming up, Kaiser?
Well, I will be moved in as of this weekend, and once I've got the office set up and my new desk in, could happen as soon as the weekend after, or more likely the weekend after that.
Okay, so 1 to 2 weeks away from people who are...
when this comes out, 1 to 2 weeks from this.
Yeah, there'll be a Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Kaiser?
Kaiser, yeah. K-Y-Z-Z-E-R.
Yeah, it's not CMCJ.
Yeah.
K-Y-Z-Z-E-R. There you go.
And it'll probably go up to YouTube as well, though.
Yes, and we are quite good at looking at the chat, so if you do drop by, we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, we have been doing streaming a lot more than we've been doing YouTube. And a lot more than we do in the podcast. Yeah.
It's a bit easier to jump on and do it.
That said, yeah, because we opened up this podcast with not many YouTube videos have gone up, and that's because I've been moving and busy. But
yeah. So, if you're around at the time... In fact, if you subscribe, then it should pop up with a notification that we're streaming, so you won't miss anything. And I think it stays as a VOD afterwards automatically, right?
Yeah, I think it's for a week or two. Twitch automatically saves it for a week or two, and it'll stay there, but then they auto-delete after a while.
Gotcha. So, limited time. Keep it up.
Oh, man. Well, I think that's probably a good place to end it. We transitioned to talking about Warhammer, but I actually
really...
I didn't
expect that. We had other transitions, but no.
No, just right from anime to Warhammer.
Yeah. Very close.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of... The Astartes are kind of anime.
Yes.
There's some people that will be very fucking pissed about that statement. Oh, God. All right. Any final thoughts, or shall we end it there?
We watched Cowboy. Did we watch the last episode of Cowboy Bebop? Okay, apparently I watched the last episode and forgot about it. Apparently he got shot?
There was a lot of shooting in that last episode.
I'm guessing main character got shot. Spiegel.
Yeah, he gets shot multiple times, but that's...
Oh!
Like white light coming down the staircase, you know. But you remember the scene?
I really didn't like it.
It is quite a vague ending. So if you're looking for some kind of like definitive end to the series, then yeah, you're not going to get that. But anyway, all right.
Anyway, yeah. So
on that slightly confused note, this is going to be the end of episode 94 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you all for listening, and you'll hear us again in 2 weeks for episode 95.
Emperor Chan!